Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the FIFA Flow podcast. Welcome to season 3, episode 43 of the podcast, guys. Today we got just the usual episode, like usual, talk about games. Not as much football, like news. I think what we might do, maybe another video this Friday, kind of talking more about the news. I'm hopefully I'll see maybe this weekend. I might do an episode with Gareth, kind of talking about the Champions League first leg and his thoughts on maybe the second leg. Like with Man City Bayern, we will talk about Man City Bayern today. I won't really talk about Inter versus Benfica, but maybe on the next episode we'll do that. So where was I? So yeah, I think I might do a video kind of talking with Gareth about the Champions League, like the first leg kind of thoughts. Hopefully, if he wants to, I'll take a look. If not, then we'll do one with my just by myself. So we'll have an episode on that maybe on Thursday. I think I have a test. I have a math test tomorrow, and then I have a chemistry test on Thursday. So maybe since I'll still have homework since I'm in grade 12. So I'll still have homework, but at least it won't be as important like studying for a test for Friday. So I think Thursday should be fine. So I'll do a Champions League episode review on Thursday. And then maybe Saturday we'll do a football news episode because there's quite a bit of news I want to talk about. Today I just want to do a bit of like a match review and kind of like a rant. We might have a few rants kind of add on some stuff. I kind of want to give you guys my thoughts, not on football news but on just other stuff regarding football. So for Thursday we'll probably do a Champions League leg 1 review, maybe with Gareth, I'll see. And then Saturday we'll do a just a based on news episode. So I don't know how long it'll be, just all Twitter football news, nothing else. And then Sunday we'll just do a league. Sunday or Monday we'll do a just the I guess our game week, our weekend games, like the games happening on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll do that episode either on Sunday later in the day or on Monday near nighttime as well. So yeah, we should have a good 3 episodes, 3 episodes coming within the next within the next week. So yeah, as I said, Champions League review for leg 1, and then kind of like predictions for leg 2, maybe with Gareth. Saturday to all Twitter news, and then Sunday just the league review as usual. So this episode I want to talk about, we won't talk about Inter Milan versus Benfica because I didn't really watch the highlights on that, and personally I kind of, as I said, I kind of want to go not on like a rants, like long, like 30-minute to like 10-minute rants, but kind of like go deep and like kind of explain my thoughts of how football, like about some stuff going on in the football world. So we're still gonna talk about the Champions League game regarding Manchester City versus Bayern Munich. We're gonna talk about the Premier League. Probably only gonna be Liverpool Arsenal. We're gonna go head over to La Liga, talk about Real Madrid versus Villarreal. Head over to the Ligue 1 like usual every day. Every episode we have to mention the best team in the history of the sport, Paris Saint-Germain. I mean, I'm a hardcore PSG fan. You guys already know I have a lot of bias. Not really bias, but like I'm not gonna say that's just joking. Like I of course, even as a PSG fan, you have to agree that Madrid are the best team in the world. You have to agree that Man City. I might have to say that Haaland is better than Mbappe. We will talk about that as well in today's episode. We have a bit of PSG Twitter news, and then I want to end it off with a bit of EA Sports Team of the Season community vote. So what it is basically you vote for Team of the Season. So these are players who are not like for instance, David De Gea is in this community Team of the Season, meaning he was not in EA Sports, like he was not good enough to be in EA Sports Premier League specific Team of the Season. You get what I mean? So overall throughout like all leagues and stuff, he's in it, but like only specifically in the Premier League. You get what I mean? So they still had a great season, however, not like as good as other players in their specific league. So this is like players who throughout several like different leagues who've had a good season, but not like compared to other players in their specific leagues. So then they bring them into like a open ended like all leagues kind of team of the season type thing. So kind of want to vote on that. Tell you guys my thoughts and who I think deserves a team of the season with the EA Sports votes. But yeah, let's just get right into it. Let's start off with the league and talk about Paris Saint-Germain, guys. Because guys, what a game we had here. Not only for PSG, but what a game the Nice had as well. 21 shots on target, 21 shots versus 13, 7 shots on target versus 4. Possession wise, almost about the same. Passing game, we did have more passes. But guys, man, Nice, man, OGC Nice, they literally had the best attack. I'm telling you, the amount of opportunities they had, like, maybe it wasn't like a high percentage strike, but at the end of the day, any strike, even if it's a 1% chance strike, at the end of the day, it still has a very slight chance to go in the back of the net. So, at the end of the day, guys, like OGC Nice, they destroyed us in. I feel like they had a really good attacking, like a really good attacking, plays. And guys, I just have to tell you, man, Keprin Thuram, the beast, my center mid. Hopefully, man. Hopefully, what's his name? Not Christophe Galtier, not our coach, but Luis Campos, the Portuguese, our scouting, not I guess our sporting director, the guy who kind of is scouting players, the guy who kind of makes decisions of, oh, we need to sign this guy or this guy. Luis Campos, guys. Keprin Thuram, make it happen. I beg you. Keprin Thuram, and even his brother, what's his name? Keprin Thuram and Marcus Thuram, guys. I hope that Luis Campos blesses us with this beast of a midfielder, guys. Keprin Thuram killed us. Not like you expect him, a guy who's 6'4", who has defensive capabilities, physical capabilities. You expect him to play more defensively, like a stay back, like a CDM type player. However, guys, this guy is the perfect center mid for us because not only does he defend, not only does he not only is he physical to kind of beat opponents, but his attacking capabilities, man, this guy was making some good, like, he's solid. He's a solid beast on the ball. He was making some good runs between Vitinha, Marquinhos, Renato Sanchez, blocking Lionel Messi's shots. Even Carlos Soler, he was going towards the middle of the field. And then when Carlos Soler got some chances to kind of cut inside here, he would block those as well. Against Renato Sanchez, Vitinha, even against Hakimi as well, guys. This guy was making some dribbles in between. He's a beast on the ball, and since he's tall as well, as I said, he's 6'4". He might not be fast, but what makes him look fast is not only like his decent speed, his decent pace, but his long legs, making like the reach he gets very, very good. So those long legs, and then the passes, guys. This guy, Keprin Thuram, the beast, literally had, like, the reason that I said that, like, OGC Nice had a very, very good opportunity is because the balls that Keprin Thuram was sending into Nicolas Pepe, whether it was a cross, there was one, I think it was against Achraf Hakimi. It was like it was a challenge on Achraf Hakimi, and because of the long legs, he was able to reach the ball around Hakimi, get a nice low driven through, like, cross into the box, and Donnarumma, man. I'll talk about Donnarumma in a sec, but Donnarumma saved it. But just the what am I trying to say here? The vision, the ability that Keprin Thuram has, the beast. Like, this guy really stood. I mean, we saw, like, there was definitely a lot of rumors of both Keprin Thuram and his brother Marcus Thuram, who plays for Mönchengladbach, I believe. Is in Mönchengladbach. How do you spell their name? Mönchengladbach or something? Mönchengladbach. How do you? Don't mind. Yeah, Borussia Mönchengladbach. Whatever the name is. There's like a Gladbach I know at the end. I don't really know the first part, but yeah, like, there was rumors, like, even before this game, like even like during the mid February or late February, that like they both want to join and PSG are interested in them. And for that reason, during this game, I was really like focusing on Kepren Thuram, and man, he was a beast. Like, not maybe like you could say like, oh, I was over exaggerating, say like, oh, I was only focusing on him, making him look better. It's not just that. Against our PSG team, like he was killing us, like defensively, physically in like when OGC Nice was playing in the attack, in the offense, he was really solid. And just compared to other OGC Nice players, I feel like he was someone who was really involved in the build-up play for OGC Nice, even in the defensive, in some defensive scenarios, he was involved for OGC Nice. So I think that's a player that we really need. I want to kind of like emphasize him really like a lot, because man, like PSG, man, our midfield is literally non-existent. And after watching that Man City Bayern game, man, watching Man City play, guys, like I want a midfield like Man City. And Kevin Thuram, he might not be a player like Kevin De Bruyne and stuff, but he's definitely a player that will be able to kind of he's a player that's gonna will kind of be the future to developing our midfield. You get what I mean? Is that what I'm trying to say here? I guess it is. It's like, because we need to build up on our midfield. So at the end of the day, it might not be as good as Man City, but Kepren Thuram is definitely a huge upgrade to the midfield that we have right now. Carlos Soler, Renato Sanchez, even like I respect Vitinha. I love Vitinha. He's a youngster. He's a baller. But I think like shooting wise in the attack, he needs to become, man, this guy's never gonna score for us. And I think even passing wise, like this guy, he can, if his vision was like Messi, I think he could have been better, but it isn't. So I feel like finding those passes like Verratti, he's not like a Verratti. So I think Kepren Thuram and Vitinha, I know I love my youngsters at PSG, such as Vitinha, Nuno Mendes, Mbele. However, Vitinha, man, I think you need to be. For me, you're clearly replaced by Kepren Thuram. Renato Sanchez, man. If Renato Sanchez was always in good form, man, this guy would be a beast, man. I'm telling you. For where was he at before? From Lille, he played at Bayern as well. But I think his best season, his best time of his career was at Lille. So if we can bring like a Lille Renato Sanchez to PSG, man, the beast like him and Kepren Thuram as our two CDMs. Imagine like a 3-5-2. Verratti maybe in that cam position would be pretty nice. Or like even in this formation we have right now, Kepren Thuram like in the middle here, who's still going up a lot. Or maybe if we're talking about next season, if we're talking specifically about next season, I don't know if I don't know how we'll play, because I'm hoping we extend Ramos, we're gonna keep Marquinhos, and then we'll have Skriniar. So then I'm hoping we do Danilo Pereira in the CDM here, Kepren Thuram maybe on the right here, and then Verratti on the left. I think that would be brilliant. And then keep Nuno Mendes on the left, Hakimi on the right, Kylian Mbappe up top, and then hopefully get another goal-scoring striker. And I also want to talk about that. Let's like talk about like improvements that PSG need, and we'll talk about it with the news as well. So Kepren Thuram, we need him. Now I also mentioned his brother Marcus Thuram, guys. The thing with PSG is you could say Mbappe is supposed to be the guy who scores all the goals for us, who carries PSG. However, that's not the case. The only reason Mbappe is the guy who's scoring the goals for us, I mean, not in recent games, however, not in the past few games, however, just generally, you expect like you would say, oh, for a team, when you say, oh, PSG, who's your goal scorer, you would say it's Mbappe. However, the only reason it's Mbappe is because we don't have another pure goal-scoring player. And players I could like name are Erling Haaland. He's not a player like Mbappe who dribbles, who has this technical ability. His main job is to score. He's a goal scorer. He's a finisher. You take another example, Osimhen. I think like he's a great example, a goal-scoring machine. Got someone who doesn't dribble, who's not as technical as Kylian Mbappe, and I love that about Mbappe. He can score goals, but he's more of a technical player. Like he does it in a more technical, I guess, flair type way. But I think what that flair does is it also reduces, like he does too much sometimes, where it reduces like the goal scoring opportunity. And I think having a pure someone who doesn't do that a lot's kind of like Erling Haaland, who gets fed the ball instead. So even when Mbappe is being fed the ball by Lionel Messi, he's still adding onto it. However, when you take a look at Osimhen, when you take a look at Erling Haaland, who are being assisted by Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, and stuff like that, and then like for Osimhen it would be like Kvar, what's his name, Kvar Shella, and like Di Lorenzo and stuff. They get fed the ball, but they don't like add on as much as Kylian Mbappe. They just go. They say, "Oh, let me header it. Let me just get a one-time finish. Let me control it quickly and take a power strike on the ball." This is what they do. They make runs in behind. They don't wait for the ball, do a dribble, and then get in behind like Kylian Mbappe. I mean, Mbappe, he does make runs in behind, but I don't know exactly. Like when you take a look at Mbappe and Holland, Mbappe, he kind of adds a bit more like to make the goal. Like I don't think he's saying like, oh, let me make it look better, but like he's adding some technical ability to get past the defender. Whereas when you look at Holland's goals, he just positions himself well. So when he gets the ball, it's just a quick, like, no adding on. Like he doesn't wait on the top of the box, do a dribble, and then get into the. He waits inside the box. So right as the ball gets into him, like within 2 seconds, he takes a shot. For Mbappe, he controls it. He takes his time. He adds the technical ability and then scores. It still works. Like it still works completely fine. However, as I said, I think he does a bit too much, and we just as a PSG fan, I think what we need is a goal scoring finisher who's trying to just your target, your main target, just get the goal in the back of the net, man. Get it in the back of the net. Holland, he's not doing this technical step over stuff. He's just saying, "Oh, give me the ball. I'm in twos. I'll control it. I'll do my best. I'm just gonna shoot it wherever it goes. It goes. If it goes in the back of the net, good for me. I score." Same with Osimhen. He receives the ball, controls it, gets it. He shoots it. If it goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Um, but he doesn't add this like technical ability that Mbappe has. So personally, for me, I think Kemper and Thuram, as I mentioned, beautiful in the midfield, but in the attack, we need to develop our attack, and that's what you really notice is a lot of the time, guys, throughout this game, a lot of our shots, Carlos Soler taking long shots outside the box, Lionel Messi as well, Vitinha. You can see like a lot of the time was outside the box. If we had someone who's ready in the box, like Erling Haaland, inside the box, who's there, who's positions himself to say, "Oh, I'm not gonna dribble. I'm not gonna take my time, shoot outside the box. Let me be in the box. So right when I get the ball, I have a higher percentage of strikes since I'm closer to the net, and I don't have to work my way into the box and then shoot. I'm already here, positioned myself well." So I think someone like Marcus Thuram. I think there's definitely better players such as Osimhen, Marcus Thuram. Who's that other baller? What's his name from? I think he plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach as well. During the World Cup. What's his name? French striker. Let's check French strikers. Bundesliga. Yabi Kolomwani. Oh, Eintracht Frankfurt, not Mönchengladbach, but I think players like them, and on top of that, I personally I think like Osimhen is clear like as a goal scoring finisher for PSG. However, I think to bring more Parisian, not Parisian, but more French talent, and I guess Parisian as well, because I believe both the Thuram brothers are like they had a bit of time in Paris, so like bringing that Parisian, that the French, I guess the French, not passion, the French spirit, the French, the nationality to kind of represent a French club is kind of needed, because right now the only French player starting for us is Kylian Mbappe. This is a cultural team. We're a French team, and we only have one French player starting for us regularly. Like, that's pretty sad. So as I said, Kepren Thuram clear, bring him in. Marcus Thuram, Kolomwani, even Osimhen. I don't know if Osimhen is definitely not going to be cheap. I think other clubs will definitely try their best to try to sign him as well. Even Napoli, I don't know if they are willing to sell him. I think they want to keep him. Even like Osimhen as well, man. I don't know if he's willing to come to PSG either. Um, However, like I think he's my top priority. Like he's my top choice. Like, oh, if we can get a striker, and like if we can hopefully sign a striker, like, oh, let's try for Osimhen. But at the same time, like Osimhen, he's gonna go for 120 million, at least 100 million. We can use that 100 million, get smaller who are also good players, like such as the Thuram brothers, Kolumwani, Diaby as well, who's fast, good on the ball, down the wing. I think that's what we kind of need. Like both our wingers who get into the box. Maybe like we need them more as an attacking player, not just like a defensive, like oriented, like more of the like Hakimi and Nuno Mendes. I wouldn't argue that they are brilliant in our attack. However, I think that we need more of an attacking focused player. Is what I'm trying to say here. But man, yeah, I think yeah, that was a lot of talking about PSG. Nuno Mendes, guys, during this game, guys, as I said, OGC needs had their times. Um, Nuno Mendes, man, he's brilliant. Of course, one of the goals came down the wing. He tried to pass it in. He did get we did get a bit lucky that it went back to Nuno Mendes. He passed it back to Messi, and Messi got the touch in behind. What's his name? Schmeichel, but what's his first name? Uh, Casper Schmeichel, of course, the legend, United legend. What's his name? United legend. Peter Schmeichel. Peter Schmeichel. No ways, it's Peter Schmeichel. It was Peter Schmeichel. I don't know. It felt like mistaken. I thought I said the wrong name. Like it didn't fit right for some reason. But of course, yeah, his son got passed right to him. The second goal came off of a corner, and guys, if this was 5 years ago, no ways in any universe would anybody think that Messi would assist Sergio Ramos off of a header, which is Ramos' specialty as well. Guys, no ways anyone would think that. However, it happened. Ramos headed in, who of course one of his like most like deadliest like abilities that he has, like not deadliest, but like I guess one of the most vital um like is prone for the other teams. Like they should watch out for Ramos because that's one of his specialties, and assisted by Messi as well, guys. No ways anyone would think that, but it happened. It was really like touching to me. But yeah, as I said, guys, in the we definitely need to kind of get a pure striker who's goal scoring for us. Kepren Thuram, we need you, man. We really need him. I think personally, I think two good midfielders. One of them, Kepren Thuram. Maybe another one would be like Barella. As I say, I feel like like a Serie A midfielder. Serie A is definitely underrated. I did see something about like Liverpool or Chelsea. They wanted to go for Barella, so it was happy because guys, I always tell you guys, Barella, man, I love Barella. I think he's a solid player. Barella, who's the other guy? You got like Barella, Tonali. He plays for Inter Milan. Çalhanoğlu. Like you got these players, man. Like Milinkovic Savic. So I feel like, man, in the Serie A, like I guarantee there's a lot of other midfielders like I'm missing out, like Napoli, Amrabat. Like man, there's a lot of like players I'm like that are beasts in the Serie A midfield. So I feel like if teams like PSG and Liverpool are looking to improve their midfield, look at the Serie A, man. I'm telling you, and I told you guys for the past like 2-3 months, I've been telling you guys Barella, Serie A midfielders, and look at it now on Twitter. It was rumored that Liverpool and Chelsea are interested in signing Kepren or Barella from Inter Milan. I'm telling you guys, my scouting skills too good. I mean, these guys are more known players. I think I need to get better at scouting youngsters. That's what I want to get better at. So hopefully I can start watching some kind of non-big games, such as like, I don't know, not lower division, but lower, like mid-table, lower table, like League 1 games. Same with like Prem games and stuff. Kind of like scout, because I kind of want to. It's fun when you, not really fun, but it's interesting when you see a young talent who maybe become like the next like big thing. I mean, when Alphonso Davies was at Whitecaps, who expected him to become the next big thing? I think One of my friends told me back in FIFA 2017, like during the FIFA 18 and stuff, he saw, oh, Davies is this guy, and like this guy at like Whitecaps. Let me like do a FIFA career mode on him. That's what one of my friends told me. And now look at where Davies is now. So kind of seeing not only in real life, even in FIFA, man, it's kind of fun when you see these random hidden gems like in FIFA and EA Sports FIFA in real life as well. So hopefully, I kind of want to improve at doing that. But yeah, I'm telling you, Serie A midfielders, guys, don't sleep on them. Don't sleep on them at all. But yeah, as I said, OGC Nice, man, they played really, really solid football. So fair play to them. As I said, they had a lot of opportunities. Donnarumma, man, probably the game of the season for him. Personally, I think this was the game of his, maybe you can even say game of his career at PSG, guys. Because, man, this guy was saving shots after shots after shots. Very important shots as well. As I mentioned, that one play where Kepler Thuram stretched his leg, because of his height, because of his long legs, he was able to get it around Hakimi. And then Nicolas Pepe, guys, from Arsenal, of course. He gets a touch, and Donnarumma, his reflexes, his ability to save that, beautiful, like, I guess, reflexes and kind of, well, I was gonna say animation, like this is FIFA, EA Sports FIFA, but like beautiful reflexes and kind of I guess you would say animation, I guess handling, like he handled the situation well. So brilliant by Donnarumma. Not just that situation, but we had a bunch of situations where we were getting, as you guys can clearly see, 22 shots, 7 shots on target, and none of them went in. Donnarumma, man, game of his career at PSG, or maybe game of the season. But yeah, brilliant. So that is PSG there for you. Talking about PSG news as well. So yeah, Leonardo Paredes, I think that's definitely able to help our midfield. This is a guy who has passion, who's hungry for the ball. Will return to PSG at the end of the season. Juventus will not trigger the buy options for the Argentine midfielder. League on Team of the Week by L'Equipe. Lionel Messi, Donnarumma, and Nuno Mendes in. Impossible for them to keep Leo out this time. So Da Costa. Man, Thuram, man, he should be in there. But yeah, Tolisso, he looks like he's in there. Messi, Nuno Mendes, of course, Medina, Disasi. I know them, of course, from FIFA. Everybody I know is from FIFA, I swear, man. My question is here: how is G Perrin? Oh no, this is attack. I thought it was like defense and stuff. I was wondering what is going on, but yeah, that is that for you guys. Let's go over to La Liga. I kind of I'm gonna talk about one game here: Real Madrid versus Villarreal, guys. Now, I think I respect Real Madrid. Real Madrid are the best team in the history of the sport in terms of not only economically but even like globally. As a team, they're like the connection, the passion they have is just on a different level. Real Madrid. However, I feel like I said this in a few podcasts ago. When it comes to specifically in Spain, inside of the country of Spain, not regarding the Champions League, not regarding like any of that stuff. When it comes to specifically in Spain, La Liga, Copa del Rey, Supercopa, when it comes to that stuff, personally, I think Barcelona are the best team in Spain, only specifically in Spain. We're only in the country of Spain. When it comes to global events, such as, or even like global events and continent events, such as the Europa League, the Club World Cup, what's the Super Cup? Is that what it's called? Like, what's the cup where like the Europa League winners and the Champions League winners play against each other? When it comes to all that stuff, when it comes to economic history, Real Madrid are clear at all of that, and like on top of that, they're very. I did mention that for me, Barcelona are the best team within the country of Spain, not regarding Champions Leagues and all of that. Just in Spain, Barcelona are the best team for me. But the fact that even Real Madrid are close to they're still close to Barcelona in Spain is still a huge thing. So like the second best in Spain in your country, But what makes them even like better, like the best team in history, like globally, is because of the other stuff they're able to achieve, not only in Spain but outside of Spain as well. It's not about uh national like it's not about your like your national league. It should be about, can you do it everywhere else as well? Is it only against Elche? Is it only against like Sevilla, Cadiz, Getafe, uh, Valencia, Espanyol? Is it only against these teams, or can a team do it against teams in other leagues such as Bayern, the top teams in other leagues such as Bayern, Man City, Liverpool, Napoli, AC Milan, and teams like that? That's what I'm trying to say here. And for me, because of I mentioned Barcelona are the best team in Spain, specifically in the national country of Spain, and Madrid are second. But because of the economical history that Madrid have, as well as the global and the continental history that Madrid have regarding Champions Leagues and all that stuff. For me, Madrid are clear, and the history Madrid have. I know Barcelona have a lot of history as well, but for yeah, I think in Spain, Madrid or Barcelona are clear. Now, when it came to the Copa del Rey last week, Madrid absolutely smashed Barcelona. Araujo was getting bullied by his owner, Vinicius Jr. I think I'm just joking, guys. I think usually Araujo pockets Vinny, but it just Araujo wasn't at his 100%. Vinny had some really beautiful goals, but I don't quite remember the first goal. Not really all the goals, to be honest, but no, I think one of them was like a Vinny. He crossed it into the box, and it's Benzema who gets his head low, gets into the back of the net. Beautiful goal there by Karim the Dream Benzema. Ramadan Karim, guys. Ramadan Karim is something else. Last year against Man City and against Chelsea, he was something else, and this year against Barcelona. Even the game before the Copa del Rey last Saturday, I think it was against Elche as well. He scored a hat trick as well. He scores a hat trick and an assist against Barcelona in the Copa del Rey second leg to come back from 1-0 down as well. So beautiful by Real Madrid. Comeback, of course, comeback teams, guys. This is what they're known for. However, uh, I think when it comes, I guess when it comes to important, I think when it comes like what I'm trying to say here is Madrid always come out huge during big games, and I don't think when you want to be a top team, I don't think it's just about big games. I think you have to be able to do it in every scenario. How can you be able to beat City, but then how are you able to beat Barcelona, who are top of the league, but then you lose to a team? No offense, I think Villarreal are highly placed in they're fifth in the La Liga. However, how do you knock out Barcelona, who are top of the league in the Copa del Rey, but then I wouldn't say get demolished, but like they weren't dominated or anything, but get fairly beaten, I guess fairly beaten, like Villarreal, fair and square beaten by Villarreal, who are lower than you, but you beat Barcelona, and that's what I'm trying to say here. You beat you beat Liverpool in the Champions League. You beat all that stuff, and then you lose to Villarreal. And the point I'm trying to say here is, I respect Real Madrid. They make history year after year after year for the past decades, for the past several decades. But when it comes in big games, but sometimes when it comes to these smaller games like against Villarreal, especially this season specifically, it's like I feel like that's really not acceptable. Now, what Ancelotti had to say about this was, he said like, oh, like we're only gonna win if we win the Copa del Rey and the Champions League. That's only 2 trophies. But what manager has able to won 4 trophies, all 4 trophies: Champions League, Copa del Rey, Super Cup, and the what's the other one? The one against like the Champions League winners and the Real Madrid and the Europa League winners, like those two. That game he won that game, and La Liga. What manager is able to do that within 2 seasons, to win 4 or 5 trophies nationally and continentally in Europe in 2 seasons? And I guess like I respect his point there. I really respect his point, but at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that like, oh, you're winning trophies outside of Spain, and just like in the past 2 seasons, but that doesn't mean like you can beat the big teams but lose the small teams. And that that's where I kind of say like I mean, I can't hate on Madrid because I'm a PSG fan. But at the same time, like I feel like it's kind of not unacceptable, but kind of strange, you can say. Like I feel like this is not. I think Madrid are capable to not only be big in in big games, not only show up in big games, but also like have the ability to beat these lower teams like Villarreal, Betis, and stuff. Easily, guys. Easily, not easily, but at least like they should be beating these teams. Now, occasionally, there's gonna be those games that these teams, of course, are gonna lose to lower teams. Like you never know. But for a team like Real Madrid, like who say like, "Oh, we're the best in the world" and stuff, like I can't like you can't say like because you're the best in Europe, you're better than Barcelona. I can't accept that. I mean, I think like winning the Champions League is definitely better than La Liga, but you can't say like we won the Champions League, we're better than we're better than Barcelona. The reason is because you're not trying in the La Liga because one, you already know that Barcelona is clear and they've won the league. Uh, and two, like you're as I mentioned, they're not really trying because they know that Barcelona have won the league. They're kind of taking it easier in the La Liga. You can even see they're 2 points, like 2 point difference to Atletico Madrid. I won't be surprised if in the next, like I won't be surprised if Madrid get third. It's because they already know Barcelona are gonna win the league, and because they already know that, they're gonna kind of play more easier so that they can focus on bigger games. But I feel like that's kind of not unacceptable, but like that's not like what teams should do. They should be focusing on not only in the national teams, they should be putting it all in. Like I think if this was prime Madrid under Zidane and stuff, he would go all out to come back against Barcelona and on top of that win the Champions League. So that's what I'm trying to say here. That is what I'm trying to say here. But no hate to Real Madrid. So no hate, still no hate. But yeah, Madrid versus Villarreal, brilliant game for Villarreal, guys. Let's talk about the game, and I want to talk about Villarreal. So yeah, the first goal, Pau Torres. It was Vinny, of course. Vinny, of course. What he's known for is going down this wing, cutting inside, trying to find Benzema. He went a bit too far, hit Pepe Reina, rebounded back, and I think it was what's his name? Marco Asensio. For some reason, he's on the right here, but came to the left side. Gets the rebound back, and then it rebounds off Pau Torres' own goal. So pretty unlucky there. But then, guys, Chukwueze, man, beautiful goal, beautiful assist. Lo Celso, he waits. It looks like he's gonna dribble or take a shot from outside the box, but then he sees Chukwueze waiting here. Chukwueze, he goes to the right of Nacho. Nacho's more in the central. He goes to the right. He steps back to the left, back behind Courtois. He sends Nacho back to whatever club he came from. I don't quite know what club Nacho was at before Real Madrid. But yeah, he sends Nacho back. He sends him to the ground. Chukwueze, beautiful touch. As I said, beautiful vision by Lo Celso. He controls it. First touch by Chukwueze well. Like some players, you might think like, oh, it's gonna rebound back off. Like they're gonna take a hard touch, but he controlled it well. Was able to react fast, turn fast as well. Kind of send Nacho around and then get it in the path to get a one-on-one against Courtois, get a pass of the net. So brilliance by Chukwueze. And then it's in the 45th minute, Vinny gets his goal. I don't quite remember this goal, so we won't really talk about that goal. And actually, no, this was the one where like he got past like Pau Torres and Mandini here, the Algerian. He like nutmegs him, gets it around, chips it over Pepe Reina. Beautiful goal. And then you guys in the 70th minute, yeah, they pass it out wide to Chukwueze into the box. It goes to Morales. He hits in the back of the net, and then yet again Chukwueze, man, in the 80th minute, dribbling outside the box, beautiful golazo in the top left bin. So beautiful goal. Now, yeah, I don't really want to talk about the game. However, as I mentioned, we talked about like how Madrid should be playing better against big teams. At the end of the day, like Madrid are still Madrid. I like the way they play. But I want to talk specifically about Villarreal. I won't really talk about the situation regarding Valverde and Bayern. I'll talk about that on the Twitter news video later this Saturday. But I want to talk about Villarreal because, guys, I know I said like I want to get better at scouting youngsters and stuff. But when it comes to scouting, not really scouting, but when it comes to finding hidden, not only hidden gem players, but hidden gem teams. Not really hidden, like Villarreal, not a hidden gem, but they're a team I really like because like they're a team that are very underrated who have a lot of hidden gem talent, and is Villarreal and Monaco, my two favorite teams. Lo Celso, he is a baller, man. And when he got injured before the World Cup, I was like, he's a key player in that midfield. He could have been a key player in that midfield for Argentina. Argentina, of course, they went on to win the World Cup. But what I'm saying is, it could have been a different story with Lo Celso as well. Maybe he could have done better. Like maybe he could have contributed more. Like you never know. But I think from Spurs, when he came to Villarreal, he's a key player. He plays striker. He sees those the vision he has. He has some defensive capability. Chukwueze going down the wing, the touches he came. Now, Chukwueze, apparently it's rumored that Madrid want to sign Chukwueze this summer for 50 million. Now, the problem I see here with Chukwueze is Chukwueze really reminds me of Rodrigo. Both very talented players, however, they're inconsistent. They don't. What Chukwueze did against this game in Villarreal, he doesn't do it every against Real Madrid. He does not do that every game for Villarreal. Same thing with Rodrigo. Rodrigo doesn't do all these. He doesn't have this Brazilian flair to him every single game. But when they do perform well, it's like extraordinary. They have the talent. They perform very very well. However, it's inconsistent. So I think it's not really the best idea for Real Madrid. They already have an inconsistent right winger. So to get another inconsistent right winger like Chukwueze is not the best. It's not the most ideal situation for Real Madrid. But I will say that Chukwueze, when he does perform well, he's a baller. Even when he doesn't perform well, man, he's still a baller. As I said, Lo Celso, I love him. Daniel Parejo, he has my name as well. Danny or Daniel, you can say. I really like him as well. I think he's solid. He's a bit old, so a bit slow, but still pretty good. What's his name? Like something Foyth, Juan Foyth. I think he's pretty solid. I use him in like FIFA career mode, and he's pretty solid for me. Pau Torres, last FIFA I used him. Yeah, I'm not just in FIFA, but guys, like in the Champions League and stuff. Pau Torres, he was a key defender for Villarreal, guys. Like Villarreal last season, guys, knocking out Bayern, Juventus, almost knocking out what's his name? Was that Villarreal almost knocking out Liverpool? If we take a look, Champions League. If we take a look, just in the standings. If we take a look at like one season. Are we able to see like kind of last year's Champions League? Was it Villarreal? I feel like it was a different team. What's the team that I think that was Champion League? Actually, no, I think it was Villarreal. But who's Villarreal's old keeper? I think they went to Ajax. Rulli. Was it Rulli who went to Ajax? Champions League 2022 table. I think it was Rulli who came out of the locker room in the second half and absolutely bottled it against Liverpool. Brothers, there's not a run here. Let's just take a look on the phone on FOTMob. Give me a second, guys. Oops. 2022, so last season. It was Villarreal. So who's their keeper? Was it? I think it was Rulli. Yeah, it was Rulli who's now went on. I think he went to Ajax. I was wondering. So yeah, it was Villarreal. I was just getting a bit confused there. But yeah, even like, so where was I? So yeah, they have like Villarreal. Like as I mentioned, Villarreal that last season almost knocking out Liverpool as well. As I said, Pau Torres. Not only in FIFA did I like him, but in real life he was a solid defender, a key player. For last season in the Champions League. So that is my thoughts there for Madrid. Let's head over to the Premier League, talk about the Champions League game today. Do our team of the season community vote, and then that's going to head off at the end of the episode. Let's talk about Liverpool Arsenal, guys. What a game, guys. What a beautiful game. Liverpool versus Arsenal. Now, in the first half, in the first 30, 40-ish, I think 30 minutes, 35 minutes, Arsenal were absolutely killing Liverpool in the attack, guys. like Arsenal, they did really well. To hold possession in the first 30-35 minutes of the game. They held possession. They didn't let Liverpool have much time on the ball. They had a lot of great attacks. The first goal was a very very sloppy by Liverpool. I think it was Odegaard who tries to pass it into Gabriel Martinelli, and then it's like Van Dijk who tries to kick it out but passes it back to Martinelli, and then Martinelli gets the touch behind Allison. Unlucky there. And then like the second goal by Granit Xhaka, is that his name? Yeah, Granit Xhaka, the Swiss CDM. He sends like a over the top through ball down the wing into Martinelli. Martinelli finds Gabriel Jesus, who's back from injury. And before injury, during the start of the season, man, Gabriel Jesus was a killer for Arsenal. He's back on form, and look at him. He's trying to get back on form, and he scored already a first goal. So beautiful there. The Brazilian Gabriel Martinelli. Gabriel finding Gabriel, and Gabriel in defense, guys. These Gabriels, the Gabbies, guys, difference. The Brazilian, all Brazilian as well. Gabby Brazilians, too good for Arsenal. If your name is Gabriel and you're Brazilian and you play for Arsenal, you're probably gonna be a good player. You're probably gonna be like one of their main players. So yeah, really really good start. But as I mentioned, yeah, they played, as I said, the way that Arsenal played the passing game and stuff. But then, guys, the press that Liverpool, they're known for having the press. They're known for quick counterattacks as well. I just want to mention that. And in the near towards the 35 minutes and stuff, they started putting press. Robertson, he had a very good opportunity making the run in behind Fabinho. I think it was who made that, or Jota who made that like pass and stuff. Fabinho, or Robertson who had a really good try. But then it was Mohamed Salah who was it Robertson who gets a try, cuts inside. It's Henderson who I think he didn't really mean for it to go far post. I think he meant to just get the first time touch into the back of the net, but it angled well to Mohamed Salah, who gets a touch on it past Ramsdale, making it 2-1. Now, I want to mention that what I definitely noticed during the 35 minutes, during the 2-0, before Liverpool scored the first goal, before Liverpool started kind of playing more offensive, getting the ball, hungry for the ball to get more of those attacking opportunities towards like near the 35 minutes. Before that, I definitely noticed that within this Liverpool team has so many problems that you can even see the players in the team, Jordan Henderson especially, and Robertson sometimes as well, is arguing at Trent Alexander-Arnold, at like Curtis Jones and stuff. Like they're arguing, oh, what are you doing? Like, put more. You have to play for the badge. Play, do your job, do your responsibilities. You're responsible. We're responsible for our role, so you be responsible for yours and stuff. You can definitely tell like they were mad. Even Aaron, you can tell throughout the whole game. I don't know if it was Aaron Ramsdale or one of the Liverpool players, but they're like during the game on football TV, you can hear them like swearing in the background and stuff. Pretty hilarious. But like what I'm trying to say here is you can see if the team within the team, if they're not cooperating well, if they're saying like, oh, like do your job better and stuff, like you definitely know there has to be a problem within the team. So I think that's definitely like something to notice, and that's definitely a sign that they definitely need to get some replacements within the team. Now, as I mentioned, yeah, towards the 30th, 5th, like 40th minute, they started putting on the press and they were hungry for the ball, making it 2-1 during halftime. Now, off of a corner, it was off of a corner in the 51st or 53rd minute, off of a corner. It headers out. It's Jota who's running for the ball, and unfortunately, I think it was Holding. Is it Rob Holding? Yeah, Rob Holding, who's running behind Jota, and unfortunately, I wouldn't say it's sloppy. I guess it was kind of a unwilling kind of like he didn't mean to foul Jota inside the box. He was running behind him, but since he was a bit too close, he clipped Jota's foot, making him fall, and a penalty was given. And guys, guess who took the penalty at Anfield? Popala, who hits it wide. He tries to go low driven, bottom left corner, hits it wide, guys. That was embarrassing. Hitting it wide, like missing his penalty is embarrassing. Like it hits like the keeper blocks it and stuff. That's embarrassing. The second is then he then that's the third most embarrassing. Second is missing wide, and then third is missing wide and then home as well. That is just sad. That is very very sad. So missing White at Anfield as well. Paul Pala, man, finished. Um, but where was I? Yeah, you can definitely tell in the second half, man. Arsenal barely got any like they were challenged like it was challenging for Arsenal to get some shots on target during the second half. Not just shots on target, to get the ball into the to Liverpool's half, because Liverpool, man, they had a lot of attacking opportunities. Now, as I say every game, game after game after game, Trent Alexander-Arnold, man, if this guy played in the attack, this guy, he had some really good through like crosses into Robertson. Unfortunately, Robertson couldn't get the goal. He nutmegged Zinchenko, which then he did like a chip over. That's where Robert Firmino, got the header, making it 2-2 in that 87th minute. Is because of the offensive, because of how high up Trent Alexander-Arnold was. Um, and because of the attacking capabilities that he has, the chip shots, like he's able to the cross, the pings that he's able to do up in the attack, he was able to make a good like attacking chance, and he made the chance to gave the chip, like the cross type chip over here, and it was Robert Firmino, it was Roberto Firmino, Bobby Firmino, who gets the header behind Ramsdale. So, man, Trent, man, I'm telling you, Liverpool, man, either sign a new midfielder. I would say move Trent Alexander-Arnold to the right center mid position, and then get a right back like Denzel Dumfries. I think that is perfect. I feel like the way that Denzel Dumfries plays as well, is he's gonna be solid. Like defensively, he's solid. Physically, he's solid. And even going up, he has some attacking capabilities as well. So I feel like Denzel Dumfries is a perfect replacement at right back for Liverpool, and then move Trent Alexander-Arnold to that right center mid position. I think that is very, very good. But guys, it was towards I think it was like the added time, 93rd, 92nd minute. Guys, Arsenal had the opportunity. I think it was Odegaard off of a corner. Somehow, Aaron Ramsdale, somehow Arsenal were able to get it off the line, literally on the line. Like they had to probably check VAR, very, very close. And then they're on the counter attack, and I think it was Odegaard who's like sends the ball. Someone who sends the ball it hits Trossard on his heel, like on the back of his heel, which makes it go back. And then it's Martinelli, Bukayo Saka on the run here, and Martinelli decides to pass, does a through ball pass to Saka, but he does it too far out over here, and then Alisson gets it. If he had done it a bit more like softer and more behind Saka, Saka could have came back and wait for the ball, and then do like something to go around Alisson. Or even if he sent it over here, I think if he sent it over here, I know Konate was kind of closer to Trossard on this side, but I feel like if Martinelli sent it over here to Trossard, he would get that angle, not only get the angle to near post or kind of curve it in a finesse around Alisson, but also have a third opportunity, which is pass it to Saka. I think that would have been clear. When it comes to Saka's opportunity, when you pass it to Saka, not only does he have to kind of wait for the ball and then, but on top of that, like if he tries to pass it, he goes near post or far post, but he also has Konate here. So and then if Trossard wants to open up for Saka, he kind of has to. He's gonna be over here, which is offside. But if you pass it to Trossard, Saka would like be on the top of the box here. Look, this is a better play for Arsenal instead. So watch the video. I can't really explain it, but yeah, that was Arsenal Liverpool. What a game! And I don't know. Like I feel like Arsenal. I mean, would I say Arsenal bottled it? I think it's just very fair. I think Arsenal played well, but then fair play to Liverpool for kind of putting the pressure on Arsenal, not letting Arsenal like be in the attack a lot. So I think fair play to Liverpool. Liverpool played it well, or they handled the 2-0 situation well to make that comeback, and on top of that have more opportunities to kind of put pressure on Arsenal. I mean, it was at Anfield as well, so I think they had to have the spirit for Arsenal. Had to have that spirit. But now with the problem is Man City or Arsenal still have to play Man City. Man City also have a game in hand. So if they win the game in hand, that'll give them a 3-point difference with Arsenal, and then they still have to play each other. So if Man City win their game in hand and Arsenal lose to Man City, and both Man City and Arsenal win the next 2 games, or lose the next 2 games, or draw the next 2 games, like both have the same outcomes, to keep the 6 point difference, then because of the game in hand that Arsenal, that Man City have, before it, like when it comes to this date here, Man City versus Arsenal, if Man City and Arsenal still keep a 6 point difference, Man City will still have a game in hand, which if they win that, will give a 3 point difference, and then if Man City beat Arsenal, will keep a 0 point difference. And since it's a tied on points, Man City are of course are clear on goal. Actually, no, not that much clearer. Only 5 points, five goal difference. Honestly, you never know. You really never know. Like maybe Arsenal or Man City have a chance. Uh, Maybe Man City have or Arsenal have a chance. Like even if the points are tied, maybe if Arsenal score a bit more goals, like they can catch up to goal difference and have a higher goal difference. Pretty crazy. But where was I? Where was I? But yeah, this is gonna be an important game. So I'm not gonna say Arsenal bottled it, but if they'd won, it could have been better. It really could have been better for them. So now they're kind of on the edge. Like they really these upcoming last games, these upcoming 8, 9, 10 last games for Arsenal will be very very important. Let's go over to the Man City Dortmund game, and then we'll head over to um, Twitter news. Actually, no, we'll do Twitter news another time. We'll go ahead and do the team of the season. Guys, Bayern versus Man City. What a game we had on our hands. 17 shots versus 12, 9 shots on target versus 4. About the same amount of possession, you could say. Now, passing wise, what I'm about to say is, so if when you take a look at a team like Bayern in past games in the Bundesliga against the game against Paris Saint-Germain, Bayern are more of a press, maybe not a press team, like, but they're more of a physical team. And a lot of the time when they're defending, they have like 5, 6 people in their box or in the top of their box defending. So they're a very defensive team. Not as defensive as Atletico de Madrid, but they're defensive, they're physical, and they kind of press. Like they try to kind of isolate like each player to not get behind, like past them. You know what I mean? So like Bernardo Silva, like Leroy Sané would try to pressure Bernardo Silva to not get like past, or like Leroy Sané would pressure Akanji. There was a few times where Coleman was pressuring Nathan Ake, and Ake would kind of have to pass it back. So to make it pass back, that's still type of pressure, making them go backwards instead of pressing them forwards. However, I mentioned that Bayern are a team who press like that, who are defensive as well. But when it comes to a team like Man City, like there's 2 ways to counter press. Is either you're a team who presses, who's physical, and you play a passing game. And the reason I say that is because Man City, they're a strong physical team. That's one, they can handle the pressure and the physicality that Bayern will put on them. And 2, because of the pass and go, if Coleman was to press over here, he's now going to be out of position. This whole area of the pitch is going to be free. You pass it to, he presses Ake, Rodri moves out of the way here, passes it here, and now, here, we'll take a photo of it as well, so I can draw and show you guys. If we take a look here, see if Coleman is going to attack, he moves up over here. He's attacking Nathan Ake. Nathan Ake now has the possibility to pass to Rodri, and now since Coleman was pressing on him, now this whole area of the pitch is now open, and because Coleman is now pressing on him, Nathan Ake passes it here. This whole area of the pitch is open because Coleman went to press him and now passes to Grealish. So passing game is key. Passing game is key. 1, 2, pass because of the press. He's now out of position there, and that's what Mbappe is very good at. Is he's good at kind of faking out players for them to move out and then making a run. He's good at opening up those spaces. And what press does is it opens up those spaces. Now, Bayern, they didn't really press, but what you can say is they kind of isolated them in one side of the pitch a lot of the time. And what you can see, so like you can see if Ake, if Rodri, if Grealish had the ball a lot of the Bayern team would start moving there. And what that did is another way to oppose that. It's not really press, but it's kind of isolation, which is Bayern is good at. Is another way to kind of counter isolation is by a pass and go game. And yet again, the way that Man City play, they switch up the play, was very very good. A lot of the time, I was expecting Alphonso Davies, my Canadian player, the Canadian beast. Man, this guy was getting cooked by Bernardo Silva. What a player Bernardo Silva was this game. Down, especially on this left side, Bernardo Silva was killing it down that side over here. Like he got a nutmeg and he nutmegged De Ligt as well. Almost got into the box. He had a few good opportunities. He had some opportunities like he would do like a step over and stuff, cut back to Kevin De Bruyne to Rodri, and then that's where Rodri had a golazo curling into the top of the box. Brilliant. Jan Sommer, man, he had a few sketchy moments. He kind of reminds me of Donnarumma, Jan Sommer, because he's not really good on the ball. He had a sketchy moments where Erling Haaland almost got the ball, but unfortunately, the way that Erling Haaland, like he intercepted the ball, like made it go this way instead of into the net. Unlucky there. Upamecano, guys, it's as if this guy was on it's as if they were playing with one less center back, because man, after that 70th minute, man, Upamecano was literally like he turned into a ghost. Now, as I said, the way that Man City play the passing game is very very counterable for Bayern. Like it's very prone for Bayern are prone to this passing game, and even if Bayern are trying to stop this passing game by isolating and putting press on them with their physicality, Man City are not only a good team at playing that passing game to counter the press and isolation, but also they're able to handle the press and physicality that Bayern are putting on them. So I will mention that as well. And that's what makes Man City one of the few teams that can beat Bayern. I feel like if this was PSG, we are nothing against both Man City and Bayern. Of course, we already saw it against Bayern. Napoli, I don't really see Napoli because I feel like they're not as strong as Man City. Liverpool, definitely not. Maybe Liverpool. And then Madrid. Would I see? I think the thing that makes Madrid might be a bit weak. However, I think the passing game definitely helps Madrid. I don't know if I see Madrid beating Bayern because of the physical press. But to be fair, like Madrid take their time, and with the way that Bayern play, like they play very defensive inside their box. Like as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in their box. Like because of them playing like that, it gives Madrid more time with the ball to wait, to kind of play a waiting game, play a passing game, and then find that like that's what Madrid is good at. Is like they don't need to be physical because they have the connection. They play it slow. They take their time. They wait for the opportunity, give the ball in a through ball to Vinny, cut inside, and it's a goal for them. So maybe Madrid beat them, but as I said, Man City, they not only do they play a passing game like Madrid, but on top of that, they have the physicality to beat to beat Bayern as well. Yeah, as I said, what a game in the first half, man. Like Bayern had, man, for me, the player who really stood out for me for that Bayern team was Leon Goretzka. In that attack, is it Leon? Not Leon Goretzka. Leroy Sané. I was wondering, Leon Goretzka, isn't that another player's name? For me, it was really Leroy Sané and Musiala, man. Musiala was hungry for the ball and stuff. He got the ball well. But in the second half, man, after the 70th minute, guys, man, Bayern were non-existent. The sloppy goal, it was Upamecano taking his time, and then I think it was Gundogan who received the ball back. Who was it? It was Bernardo Silva. He passed it to Bernardo Silva, and he gets in. It was either Gundogan or Grealish who gets the ball from Upamecano, who's like by himself because it's off of like a goal kick. He passed it to Upamecano. Upamecano takes his time. He took too much time, got pressed by Gundogan and Grealish, and then he's open. It was either Gundogan or Grealish who has all the space open because it was off of a free kick, or a goal kick. So these guys are all high up the pitch. He's putting press, have this whole area open past to Bernardo Silva and gets in the back in the net. And then Erling Haaland's goal as well. Which one was Erling Haaland's goal? Yet again, as I said, the way that Bayern plays, like Bayern are a very defensive team who kind of put press, and the way to counter that is by switching play passing game. So I think it was KDB who's getting pressed by Goretzka, De Ligt, and Davies. He switches up the play up to Grealish over here. Grealish crossing it in, and it's Erling Haaland who gets into the back of the net. So as I mentioned, Erling Haaland, brilliant at doing that. And finally, Erling Haaland wasn't really able to do that against. He wasn't able to beat Bayern at Borussia when he was at Dortmund, but at Man City, as I said, because of the way that Man City play, is a different story. It's a really different story. So I think Man City will go on to win it. I don't see Bayern going to making a comeback. But yeah, what a game this was. Let's go ahead and end off the episode with a FIFA 23 EA Sports Team of the Season. As I mentioned, so these players, they've had their season, they have a good season, but if you compare David De Gea to I guess you can say Ederson or Alisson, they in the Premier League, David De Gea wasn't as good as Ederson or Alisson, but he still deserves a shout throughout in general, he still deserves a shout. So that's what this community team of the season is for. It's not they're not good in their specific league, but overall throughout the season they were good, but just not in their specific league. So for me, David De Gea in the start of the season was carrying him and Ronaldo, man. Even last season they were carrying Manchester United, but even Jan Sommer, man, this guy for I don't know, but I feel like after Sommer went to Bayern, he's a bit sloppy on the ball. Reminds me of Donnarumma and stuff. So for that reason, I think David De Gea for me goes into the net. So yeah, I think David De Gea for me goes into the net. Kim Min-jae, no doubt that Kim Min-jae has to be in the team of the season for Napoli. He's a beast. Napoli they found him really, really well. Now, there's a lot of these players that I didn't really watch. I don't really watch the Netherlands league, I don't really watch the Belgium league, the Netherlands league, the Saudi league, the Austrian league, and stuff like that. And same for Lens. I didn't watch the lower Lens the lower mid-table teams in. I think Lens is actually second place, but still I don't watch Lens and stuff. So I don't really know exactly what to say about them. For me, Ake, man, I think he was brilliant against Bayern today, and I think after Cancelo was loaned out to Bayern, I feel like Ake got more play time. And watching Ake, when I see some of the highlights in the Premier League against for Premier League, I think Ake is kind of proving himself he's a solid player. So for me, I think at left back, Robertson, I think I don't know if Robertson really for me. I think Ake has to go in. Danilo, guys, I think he's had a pretty good season. As I mentioned, if there's any of these other players who deserve to be there, my bad, because I don't really watch the lower divisions. But for me, I think Danilo has had a good season, and then I think Otamendi as well. I think Danilo, he used to play right back in the day for Juventus last season and stuff. I think even this season sometimes he plays right back, so we'll put him there. Ake, he's playing left center back, left back for City, so he belongs there. So yeah, I think Otamendi in the World Cup, even for Benfica, in the Liga NOS, he's having a good season. Now heading to the midfielders, for me, Coleman has to be in there because man, Coleman, he's a big game player in the World Cup, in the World Cup final, in the Champions League, guys. Coleman is just what a player Coleman is. So no doubt he has to be in there for me. Big game player. We just talked a lot about Kepren Thuram, so I think he has to be in there for me. Now, as I mentioned, I didn't really watch a lot of these other players as well. So I'm not quite sure about them. But for me, either way, since I don't know about them, they're not gonna go in. Now, after watching Bernardo Silva's performance today, I don't know. Last season, he definitely had a better season last season with Man City. 100%, but I kind of want to, do I want to put in Chukwueze? The thing I said about Chukwueze, he really reminds me of Rodrigo. He's good, but he's inconsistently good. He's not consistent at being good. He's inconsistent. But when he does play good, he's really good, like he was against Madrid this weekend. So No, I think I think I'm gonna put Bernardo Silva, but I will say that a shout out to like what's those honorable mention Chukwueze. I will give an honorable mention to Chukwueze, to Declan Rice and Chukwueze. Like if I had to give out honorable mentions in each area, for me, David De Gea deserves this team in the season, but honorable mention to Sommer in the defense. This defense, I'm really happy with it. Honorable mention to Robertson. Um, honorable mention to Robertson. I really don't know like these other guys. So I guess for me, just personally, honorable mention to Robertson. I think this Nuno Santos guys. I've seen him like here and there. So maybe honorable mention to him as well. So honorable mention to those two, and then I don't know any other defenders I don't know. In the midfield, this is my midfield here: Coleman, Thuram, and Bernardo Silva. We talked about them throughout the episode as well. And an honorable mention to Declan Rice, Benacer, and Chukwueze. Now that I talk about it, like I don't know, did Benacer maybe like I'm kind of favoring Thuram too much because of like the FIFA rat I am. Like he's really good at FIFA, so did he really do anything at the World Cup? Like I feel Benacer not only for AC Milan but even in the World Cup. So yeah, I think I will do that. But honorable mention, definitely going to Marcus Thuram, of course. As I mentioned, another honorable mention to Chukwueze, Chalanoglu, Ito, Zielinski, and Declan Rice and Parejo. So seven honorable, and Anderson Talisca as well. Like I think he's definitely a good player for Al Nasser with like Ronaldo as well now. So honorable mention to Parejo, Anderson Talisca, Declan Rice. Not quite sure about Zielinski. Maybe I just said his name because like he's a known player, so I won't really say him yet. But Parejo, Anderson Talisca, Declan Rice, Chukwueze, Chalanoglu. Those are my four, and Marcus Thuram. Those are my four honorable mentions in the midfield, and this is my team of the season midfield: Coleman, Benacer, and then Bernardo Silva. And the reason I say like Thuram is because I think Thuram has done it on a club level. I haven't really seen him on a international level. However, in the World Cup, man, Benacer was a huge like factor for. Oh, I'm thinking of Algeria, not Monaco. I mean, even for AC Milan, he's had a good season. And they're still. I think I'm still gonna put Benacer. I'm still gonna put Benacer, but definitely an honorable mention to Thuram. It's a close one. It's definitely a close one. And then very close. So I don't know. Maybe my FIFA instinct, I'll put like Thuram. It's either or. Like if I had the opportunity to put like an honorable mention here, like it's like really close. So yeah, I mentioned my honorable mentions in goalkeeper. I mentioned my goal. Here's my main team, and I mentioned my honorable mentions. In the attack, I think no doubt Gabriel Jesus has to go. Um, of course, Alexis Sanchez has to go in there, and I think in the attack, Gonzalo Ramos. I know Gabriel Jesus has been injured, but in the start of the season, he was a key player for Arsenal. And now that he's back from his injury, he's starting to get on form, of course, getting that goal against Liverpool as well. Huge. But honorable mentions here. I haven't really watched Tadic, so not really sure there. But honorable mentions for me in the attack will be Delafeu, Gonzalo Ramos, maybe Tadic, I'll say. Juan Morata, I feel like he's had like some good plays like here and there for Atletico de Madrid. So I think those are gonna be my honorable mentions for my attack. But yeah, those are my honorable. This is my team. I also mentioned my honorable mentions in all positions. Quite a few honorable mentions. Like as I said, it's a very slight close one for Benacer and Thuram, and I really wish I can put Chukwueze. As I said, he reminds me of Rodrigo, just like both inconsistent, but when they are good, they do really good. In the defense, like Robertson is really good. Um, I'm pretty sure that's really. Oh yeah, Robertson. There's one more player that I missed out here. No, I think it was just Robertson. In the goalkeepers, it's gonna be Jan Sommer. He's gonna be an honorable mention for me. Just not as good as David De Gea this past season. But yeah, that's gonna go off and end off the episode. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell. As I said, next episode might be on Thursday or Friday. Maybe Thursday we'll talk about Champions League Leg 1 review, maybe featuring Gareth. And we'll kind of make predictions for the second leg, see who will qualify on, and kind of talk about the teams as well. And then after that, I'll have another episode maybe on Saturday, just about Twitter news only. And then either Sunday afternoon or Monday afternoon, we'll talk about, or Monday evening, we'll talk about, no, afternoon, Monday afternoon, we'll talk about, the weekend games from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But yeah, for now, stay positive, stay happy, stay flow, and I'll see you later. Have a good one. Peace.